Whew. Good afternoon. It is SummerSlam Shotgun Saturday. I know, not often you see a pay-per-view doing well on a Saturday. Not unless you're
I could get used to it, I'll be honest. The Saturday pay-per-view is fantastic. I mean, especially before the football comes back to dominate your Saturday night. You've got one more Saturday event. Seems like something they're doing with Big Four shows now. Used to be Big Five, and then obviously Money in the Bank got its downgrade. So we're not sure what happened with that. But certainly it seems like they want SummerSlam. We obviously saw with the Rumble, that was on a Saturday night. I was trying to remember if they did day one on a Saturday night, because they were selling that huge.
Day one was a Saturday.
So it seems, and obviously WrestleMania, you got Saturday and Sunday, but it's what they want to do. Anyway, SummerSlam preview. But more important question before we dive into anything: how are you, Reece?
Yeah, I'm good, co-host. I'm good. How are you?
Not doing too badly. You know, same old with the health. But we've got SummerSlam tonight. It's something to look forward to, and hopefully a really good show on the cards tonight for a WWE that's in a changing landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, today we are going to preview SummerSlam. 1 hour of madness. Hopefully, no madness from an internet perspective, but hopefully just 1 hour where we can just get through everything. So, we are going to start obviously with Logan Paul versus The Miz. I've just got Wikipedia's match list. We don't have the exact match run order yet. That will probably get leaked just before the pre-show, because it always seems to happen. So we're just going to go through Wikipedia's list. I'll take a match, then Eilidh's going to take a match. We'll go back and forth, and then at the moment, since there's 8 matches, I'm getting the first match and the last match, so I'll give you 2 in a row. So I'm having the Logan Paul versus The Miz, so I can rip it to shreds. And then obviously I'll win.
I'm going to get the Wikipedia up, because the order that I have is from, I think it was TalkSport. It's one of the TalkSport, maybe CBS. So I'll just get the match order up. So you can start, if you will, by eviscerating, by the sounds of it. Logan Paul versus The Miz.
Absolutely. So that's the match I'll have, and then I'll end it with the main event, the world title match that I think is going to have a little bit of a change. Anyway, so Logan Paul versus The Miz, obviously it's social media star, because to be as much as I can't stand the man, it is a fact he is a social media star. That is Logan Paul versus the wrestler in The Miz. Have we lost Eilidh? No, we're fine. It may have just been me. We are cracking on, obviously, with this match. It is a fair contest, one that is extravagant. Where we're going to go, we'll see. I am completely uninterested in this match, purely, although they've done a good build-up, I'll give it that. Adding the Ciampa to it has given it a little bit of a feel, but it's still not enough significantly for me. But I think
Not sure what's going on. I think the internet's had a bit of a hiccup. I understand the Logan Paul thing. As a social media star, but they're using it.
It's my Wi-Fi. It's just shit.
That's okay. So as I was saying, be honest. Yeah, as I was saying, they're using Logan Paul, this social media star. If they're going to use his star power to bring more fans in, that's great. If they're going to use his spotlight now to get Tommaso Ciampa over, that's fantastic. You know, let's see Tommaso Ciampa do something now. Triple H is back in creative.
I agree, and that's where I do see it coming from. So that's why I think Logan Paul will go over through disqualification.
Disqualification, you think? I do see Logan Paul winning, but I think it will be clean. Or if not clean, I think it's going to be, like a pinfall finish. I don't think he'll use a submission hold. I can't see what he'd do. But they might want. I don't think they want to sell Logan Paul sort of and the Paul family as these legitimate sort of athletes. Obviously, Logan mentioned Jake in the promo. The crowd weirdly didn't react to that, but kind of reacted to it. You know, when he was like, I can't believe that my brother Jake's main eventing this Saturday, that sort of thing. You're like, that died on its arse a little bit. No one really cared.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. And that is a strong reflection of that match itself. It really is a key reflection. And I've got the Wi-Fi working a little bit better. Like I had my laptop folded over so I could put it purely into the monitor. So I've just lifted the screen.
Well, hang on. If you freeze on my side, I'll take that as a basically carry the show for a bit, and then when you come back in, I'll finish point. Yeah, so we'll just hopefully something will be held together. But
absolutely,
yeah. I mean,
and as the shirt says, I'm injecting venom.
As you can see, like,
but it is so key. Opening comment, of course, from a viewer. This is going to be opening one, of course, a great one. But it decides to load for me. Come on. Hello, Abu. He says SummerSlam tonight. Theory needs to be. Yes. Yeah, I am
going away strongly, is what we'll say. Yeah, we will talk about obviously the Austin Theory thing when you bring up the main event. But I mean, you know, with Theory, with Logan Paul, you know, there's two young talents where there's a lot of attention on them. As far as Logan Paul goes, I think him winning over The Miz is actually important if he's going to come back and do more. And we've heard from everything we've heard is that he's signed with WWE. So
but we don't know how long.
He will be getting more Logan Paul, at least from what I've heard. I mean, maybe that was nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree.
Miz isn't going for anything, so he can afford to lose.
Yeah, he's not in a title scene. He's too busy defending the size of his package to his missus. He's not really in.
Yeah, felt a bit.
That's what we touched about. Yeah, this is something we talked about last week on our show. And go back last week, discussed TV-14 changes from the PG era, something we didn't want to look forward to, and that's one of them. It's already kicking off, really. But on the back of that,
holding the. I mean, what was it? It looked like a keychain. She came out holding it. I was like, oh, and I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I did watch Raw. It was actually
as you said you would.
But I did skip through Maurice's promo because no.
It was a bit much. When she came out, I mean, she looked good. She looked like she looked good from the sense that she was ready to go. Like I think she was actually ready to go herself.
I saw what was in her hand, and
but the minute I saw that, I was like, right.
I saw what was in her hand and just went, nope. Next segment.
I do think she may be at ringside tonight, though.
Watching Raw on BT Sport the night after it happens, you can just watch the 2 hours. It's absolutely fantastic. Like that's the way that you get me to watch Raw, not live and without the breaks, and we're absolutely fine. So I think we've both said Logan Paul to win there. I mean, in terms of what's next for The Miz, he doesn't really have to do anything. He just insert himself back in any title picture he wants. He could go for the US title. I don't see how they tell a story about him beating Bobby Lashley. He could also go over and go for the IC title. I don't know how they tell a story of him beating Gunther. And there we go. That's basically the point. Yeah. Logan Paul getting that rub will help, and it's important to give him that rub if he's staying around. If Logan Paul isn't staying around, no real point.
But, exactly. We need some longevity on it. So that's that one. And we both agreed that Logan Paul most likely is going over, is getting the result. I will now forward on to you for this one.
Yes. So the next match I've got on the Wikipedia list is Liv Morgan defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey. I've said before on the show, I think it was the Elimination Chamber review. I think Liv I think I've said it on other shows as well. I think she's really good. I think she gets it. She has improved in the ring so much. She's come a long way from the Riot Squad business. You know, so it's really nice to see her as the sort of top champion. But as what usually happens with the top champion when they're a face in WWE, especially, the run is a bit dead. It was all about the chase. So when Liv cashed in, big moment. And yes, hello there, Billy. Nice to see you again.
We might not have the quiz. I thought I'd say as well is we might not have Keen today. So if you've got another quiz planned, it's just going to be me again on a kind of redemption arc. So that's all right.
I do have questions for you. I do have questions, and yeah, I'm with you there, Abul. I do hope that Liv retains. I think it would be big. I don't see what Ronda Rousey doesn't win though. I mean, maybe her deal's done. Maybe she's leaving after this. Ronda Rousey doesn't blend into a mid card. You know, Ronda Rousey doesn't just go, okay, well now I'll just have a feud with Doudrop. You know, it doesn't really happen. Billy's got you raising the people's eyebrow there.
You know your damn role.
But yeah, so as far as this match goes, I think Liv Morgan is going over. And I think that spells the end for Ronda Rousey, unless she's going to go over to Raw, have matches with Bianca Belair. Because if she's not in or around the title picture, Ronda Rousey doesn't add anything. And obviously, we saw what she did to Doudrop and Nikki ASH on Raw. You know, that's not Ronda Rousey's level. She's far too huge a star to be messing around with a job tag team at this point. So, Liv Morgan win. I think it'll be a good match. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they get Liv Morgan to be. I mean, I'm guessing by roll up. Because
I would say so. There's no way you're going to have Rousey take the Oblivion.
No.
Like, there's no way. I actually think I actually kind of disagree with Billy's comment here. And he's saying Rousey turning heel is the only option here, but how she loses would be interesting. Could be a roll up or DQ, or Bayley returns and interferes. I'd love Bayley to return and interfere, right? But if you watch SmackDown last night, I have to admit, very good tag match. Rousey and Morgan versus Natalya and the former member of like a tag team that nobody gives a shit about. But just in the grasp of it. The end of that match, Morgan's look, Morgan's feel, I was getting heel vibes from Liv Morgan. I think Liv Morgan turns heel at SummerSlam.
Morgan might cheat to win.
I think Morgan turns heel at SummerSlam. Yeah. And
see,
I actually
is a way to put fire on the title run.
The peasant returns. Peasant, come on.
No. Please no. Oh, I can't deal with that again.
I don't want her back for some time because she's irrelevant.
I don't want her back again. She can go where Andrade is and just get lost in the shuffle. You know,
he wouldn't even work with her. He wouldn't work with her.
I doubt it.
He'd tell her to go fish.
You could have a match, Andrade and Charlotte against Adam Cole and Britt Baker. But as far as this match goes, yeah, I mean, I like your theory about Liv Morgan turning heel there. I can sort of see it, you know, especially the sort of teasing that they're doing. You are right, but I think either way, Liv Morgan wins, for sure.
It's something that we do need. Next one, billed as the US Championship rematch, Lashley versus Theory. There's only one outcome. There is only one outcome for this. Theory regains the US title. No, I think it would make sense to put the US title back on Theory as a long-term champion because he actually can work well as a mid-card and build the mid-card up, like what The Miz did, like 2013 through to 2018, like when he held the Intercontinental title more times than I can bloody count. It makes sense to have him as a mid-card champion. Bobby Lashley should be in the upper card, like fighting for the world title. That should be the scene. It should be Lashley in the main event scene. Theory should be in the mid card. It makes more sense for me tonight to have Theory win the US title, try to cash in his Money in the Bank in the last man standing or just after, and get screwed. Which obviously will allude to my predictions later on. I actually hope that what happened is right. I hope Theory takes the title, so he loses the Money in the Bank. But I do expect, and I'm saying this in a begrudging fashion, that's what I want to happen. I want Theory to reclaim the title, so he loses. Okay, yeah. So he loses the Money in the Bank. But I think Lashley does get the submission victory. Theory will tap out. I think Lashley will retain, but it's not what I want.
I think Lashley is going to do a stretcher job on Austin Theory. I think we're going to see Austin Theory get loaded into the ambulance. No. We're going to see the ambulance drive away to the local medical facility, as they put it. I wonder if they can say hospital again. Maybe not that far. Maybe not that many changes. But
find out.
Lashley will destroy Theory, but Theory's going to come back at the night and cash in. And I think they're going to do a stretcher job as like a false thing. And then I think that Theory will just cash in. And is Theory going to actually win his cash in?
No.
I can't see it. I can't see them putting that much on. I think he will cash in tonight.
I think Ziggler will. I think based on what Abel's saying, I think Ziggler will get involved. I actually think you'll get Theory versus Ziggler at Clash of the Castle.
Did Ziggler steal the cash in?
Not unless he somehow challenges him to a Money in the Bank briefcase match like what Edge did to Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't really see any significant. I would have, for entertainment purposes.
Well, Billy with some great passion there. I think there will be a riot if that happens.
Billy, I will gladly run from the top of the Principality Stadium just to get to the ring, just to drop Theory with a choke slam. If that happened.
To be fair, when you're talking about how much you hate Theory, that must mean he's doing a good job at being a heel.
Yeah, he is doing a real good. He is doing a real
good. Put it that way. And Theory loses both through interference, says Abu.
I agree with it. I think that actually could work. It's really good booking.
It would really add to the Dolph Ziggler stuff.
It would do a lot for Theory as well if you think about it. If Theory loses the US title rematch and he's Money in the Bank cash in on interference, it sets him up to be a very cocky, bitchy heel that will go beyond using like his finishing move in a match. It will lead Theory to finally using what he should be using as a heel. Dirty tactics, low blows, cocky with the referee, grabbing the shirt, like all that, like using the ropes. Because Theory is a heel. I have yet to see him do any convincing heel work yet. In terms of what a proper heel does. He wrestles like a babyface. He wrestles clean. As a heel, I want to see a little bit more.
He didn't do that on NXT though.
No, he didn't.
On NXT, he was a proper cheat.
But on the main roster, he hasn't been, and that has to change.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I agree with it. I think Abel's got a good point. Very smart.
Yeah, I think the match is basically a conclusion. I think he's definitely going to win.
We'll see.
Bobby Lashley. I mean, there was that comment as well. Like Lashley should be the main event. I think even you said it. Lashley should be the main event guy here. We've actually
that's what I had.
Who's meant to be where they are.
Yeah, that's what I had.
So yeah, I think Lashley will retain the US title. I think you agree there.
Yeah, I agree. Although it's not what I want. Personally, it's not what I want. I want Theory to go over. So he loses that Money in the Bank, and then he gives the mid card a very solid. Like I know he isn't well liked, and that includes you and me. We don't particularly like him, but as a heel, as a champion, it will give the mid card a decent run. Because you look at what I still call him Walter because I've got a brain. What Walter's
name is Gunther.
I am refusing to call him that because the Intercontinental title is still not listed on the flaming card. I cannot remember the last time the Intercontinental title was defended at a pay-per-view. It's probably WrestleMania or something. Like, it's been so long. But even on the grounds of that, the Intercontinental title is completely disrespected. It's now irrelevant as a championship. If it's not on a pay-per-view, just like the women's tag team titles, it's done. It's finished. Like, the Intercontinental title is done. I love Walter, but he is not getting anywhere. What he's doing as champion is just chopping his teammates. He's always doing is going, "Hey, Kai, how you doing?" Chop.
Pre-show match.
There's no pre-show matches listed. There hasn't been a pre-show match in months.
Well,
they haven't done a pre-show match. Maybe. I think the last pre-show match was probably the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, maybe they'll have.
It's just listening. It's just listening to Kayla Braxton going on and on and on. Like, that's pre-shows nowadays. Oh, hi, Kayla, how you doing? Oh. And Jerry Law going, I can finally see puppies again.
Back the pre-show match under Triple H, but we'll find out. I mean, everyone in the comments and yourself so against Walter being Gunther. I want to argue this one. Walter wasn't that great a name either, so Gunther isn't much worse. That's how I see it. Whereas, like with other name changes, the names were genuinely cool. And then
Matt Riddle,
like it is now Axiom. Like, what's an Axiom? So you know, there's definitely some more egregious examples of the name change to me.
Absolutely,
than Walter to Gunther.
That's something I do want. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that later on towards the end of the show after the quiz. We will actually discuss what more we'd like to see with Triple H now he's head of creative. So next up, your next match. You've got perhaps the most
match number 4 on the list that I've got here is Pat McAfee against Happy Corbin. This is a match. Pat McAfee's exciting. Mm-hmm. Happy Corbin seems to be just a bit lost in terms of anything. And I don't know. It's like they've told that story now. And the fact that, you know, he's split from, if he's still Madcap, they've split.
Yeah, they've split.
The way, talking about bad name changes. Madcap. Come on.
I know.
But yeah, so Happy Corbin, just sort of nothing. I mean, that doesn't mean he doesn't win, but I'm on the fence about this one. On the one hand, it's great if Pat McAfee wins because people want to see Pat McAfee win. But as Billy's just said there, if McAfee wins, where does that feud go? What's weird is I don't think I'd said it yet. I think Billy, you know, always got his crystal ball out. But yeah, where does the feud go if McAfee wins? You know, and then do we want a feud? Like, I want to see Pat McAfee at Clash at the Castle. If that's got to be against Happy Corbin, or if it's got to be in a tag match, that's fine. I want to see that live with a UK crowd behind it. I want to hear everyone going mental for the White Stripes. I want to hear that.
Yeah,
if
so do I.
Pay for it again, which I imagine they will, just for how over it got the first time. So I think Corbin takes the win here. Obviously not clean. Yourself?
Yeah, low blow. I'm going for a full on like heel on win here, like classic. I don't see this going anywhere, and it's like another wrestler that we will be bringing up very shortly because I do think there's going to be a change to the main event, and I stand by this one. Corbin, in terms of pay-per-views, needs to get this win. I am refusing to call it a PLE. I am not calling it a premium live event. I am calling it a pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view. It's always pay-per-view.
Yeah, I want to call it pay-per-view. I hate the fact they've changed it. But in the grounds of it, I am all for this one. I do think it's going to be very extremely... I'm going to call it on the same... I think this is going to be match of the night. Like, no joke.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
The reason I'm saying this is because I think it, like, and I'm not full on, like, it's going to be the best match. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's going to be it's going to be the best one for pure entertainment.
Right.
The best,
most entertaining match.
The best match for quality is coming up for you in 2 matches' time for me. This one is going to be pure entertainment over. You've got a heel that's trying to showcase what he can do with his mad happy gimmick that has to change. I think you need to see Happy Corbin slightly change things up a little bit. Pat Corbin coming out the ring, crazy. But you've got something about it. You have, like Abel said it perfectly. He's a great talker. He doesn't have enough to win, and he can't stand Corbin. That's exactly why it's going to be the most entertaining match, because Corbin is a prick.
Yeah, and Pat McAfee will always be over, even if he loses every match, because he's the guy in the So he doesn't ever have to win. That's how he was okay to be.
He was happy to take all this from Corbin. He was happy
to the stunner and everything. He's happy to get involved because he is just a fan. At the end of the day, a fan who's doing the announcing, and the fans love that. And the fans aren't expecting Pat McAfee's world title run anytime soon. Billy and Reece, you two, you're going to need Jeff Jarrett to step in here in a minute.
He wishes, but I'm just going to hook him, drop him. 1, 2, 3. But that's my point, though. It's not going to be the best match quality. It's going to be the most entertaining because you've got the one thing that matters: a fan's input. I guarantee Pat McAfee, right, will call spots. He will call spots with Corbin. Corbin will love him. And I guarantee you the over-exuberance in Corbin's work. Corbin will get a title match after this. Corbin will be back in a title scene because of this match with Pat McAfee. I am not joking. It might not. It won't be Clash.
It better not be the world title.
No, it won't be. It won't be Clash of the Castle. But I guarantee you either US title or Intercontinental title or maybe tag titles somehow, some way, shape or form. Baron Corbin will be back. Yeah, Baron Corbin will be back in the title scene because of this.
I'm honestly, they go an hour and then they shake hands at the end of it, and then we have a new tag team. That would be awful. But this
is why I think it's going to be the most entertaining, and for that reason, I have Baron Corbin going over through a disqualification victory. This will be like a DQ. I don't see Pat McAfee winning this because it doesn't make sense for him. He doesn't need the win. He doesn't need the loss either. You could have this match as a double. You could have this match as a double countout because it's just a singles. It means nothing. There is no impact on Pat McAfee's career because he's already a long-term contract as a commentator. He is going to wrestle maybe 3 or 4 matches a year per his agreed contract. That's completely fine. But there is no significance that he needs to win. I don't want a 1-2-3. Corbin doesn't make anyone tap out. So if anything, I'd love to see Pat McAfee just go absolutely nuts as a fan, take a steel chair and smash his skull with it. Give me a disqualification victory with Pat McAfee use a steel chair. Give me that tonight.
I don't want to see a Pat heel turn though. So hopefully it's done as you say.
No, it won't be a heel turn. It won't be a heel turn. It'll just.
Yeah.
And this is my point. See?
Triple H looks after his children. Absolutely.
I want Corbin to go back to his previous game when he was working under Kurt Angle as general manager, like the enforcer type role, or go back to the lone wolf in a way. He's not going to have his hair anyway, but he could be a bald wolf. Like, it works. Yeah.
And speaking of children, the match that you're going to talk about next features 2 of Triple H's children against the greatest masked superstar of all time and Eddie Guerrero's child. So what do you think of that?
Exactly. Rey Mysterio and his adopted son Dominic versus Priest and Balor with Rhea Ripley in a no DQ tag match. There is only one outcome for this. Dominic Mysterio, if you're watching this, you insignificant little brat. If you're watching this, see, I'm going full heel. I'm going Hollywood Rock heel turning. Dominic Mysterio, if you're watching this, you've got 2 choices. One, you turn on Rey tonight for once. You do your job. You turn on Rey Mysterio, and you join the Judgment Day, and then the Judgment Day kick you out straight after. or 2, you take the L. The Mysterios tonight, if they win tonight at SummerSlam, this kills the Judgment Day. This kills the feud. Tonight has to be Billy's mentioning Demon Balor. That works. That would be cool. The only outcome that has to happen tonight for me is the Judgment Day get the pin and they get it clean. They need a clean win at SummerSlam. This is a no disqualification.
Do they need a clean win? Because you don't need a clean win in a no disqualification match.
You're going to be fair, in a no DQ match, you don't have to get a clean win. You can get it cheap. You can get it dirty. You can
get it really dirty.
Yeah, I want to see them actually take that cover victory, though. If they have to use steel chairs, if they have to put Rey Mysterio through a table, fine. Dominic Mysterio, put him through the announce table. But Abu agrees with me. The Mysterios need to lose. For me, I want Rhea Ripley to get involved.
The Mysterios need to lose. I totally agree that the Mysterios need to lose because you can't form Judgment Day and have them lose already because then you're going to do a Retribution or a Nexus or a this or a that or what happens to Carmella all the time or a core or what happens to Carmella all the time. They give them that big sort of Dominic joining Judgment Day is what I don't want. But anyway, they form these teams that have.
He agrees with me. Look at this. He's actually he's actually joining me on the heel side. He actually agrees. He agrees that Dominic should join. And it makes it actually
we're just going to keep growing the members. But look, I don't want to see Dominic join Judgment Day. I don't want to see Rey Mysterio fight Dominic Mysterio. I don't
he already said it
to see a real sort of... I don't care to see a father and son feud. Like, I don't... Because I know that the reason Dominic would be turning heel is because he wants a match with Rey Mysterio. Like, there's no other reason for it. You can't go from being like, oh, my dad means everything to me. The only way that works is if Dominic, now I've got to put you out your misery. You know, Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair, old Yeller style. Because if
which
it's
is a good option.
That, and Dominic suddenly hates his dad for absolutely no reason, it's the worst feud of the year. 100%. Like, you can't go from Dominic Mysterio going, I was just pretending to love my dad. That's not going to work.
You can't. You won't have it like that because that doesn't work. But he has been in an interview recently and he was asked about a feud with his dad. And he actually did say, I would be open to this. But not right now, but I'm open to it. Plans can change. We know that as fans. SummerSlam can change.
Dominic's going to go over Rey. That's going to be Rey's last match, and I'm
taking this side because it's so much easier. I'm giving you. That's what we're going to do actually. During matches, so I'm hosting this one, so I'm going to be on the left, and then when it's your turn to discuss your matches, you're going there. This is how it's going to work. The hot seat mode. But yes,
so the prediction that we both said Judgment Day, yeah.
Yeah, Judgment Day have got to get this win. So now I'm going to flip it back to you because you've already mentioned his name.
Mm-hmm.
It's all yours. Fire away.
Oh, yes, I have mentioned him.
Match number 6.
J-E-F-F-J-A-R-R-E-T-T Inaugurate. Well, he's been fun so far when he's popped up in Royal Rumbles. Obviously, we saw the thing that he did with Elias. Now we're going to see him as a referee. Probably not for the first time in his career, but
he wrestled a few times in Impact.
Yeah, I was thinking he's probably been the ref a few times back in that whole business. But yeah, so
WCW
Jeff Jarrett is a special guest referee, calling it right down the middle for all the tag marbles. It's the Usos versus the This is going to be a great match. I'm absolutely certain of it. You know, you're talking about match of the night. There's actually a match missing from the list here, which I think could rival it.
That's because it's not on the card anymore. But I know which one you're talking about, and that's why I said main event change.
But there is talk that Rollins has a replacement opponent.
I hope not.
There is talk. So I think we could at least do with talking about it, because I think
we won't bring up Rollins, as promised.
But as far as this match goes, I think it's going to be fantastic, and it might be time for the Usos to lose.
375 days as champion.
I'm not going to predict the Usos to lose, because it's much like if you bet against Real Madrid in the Champions League.
That's a very good shout.
Bet against Charlotte Flair at any point. Just don't do it. You don't bet against the Usos.
Tomorrow night, Ric Flair's last ever his retirement matches versus Jeff Jarrett. Andrade El Idolo is involved. It's a tag match.
Andrade and Ric Flair against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, I believe.
At Starrcast 5.
So I wonder if there'll be a mention of that on commentary, because, I mean, you know,
there will be, because
they'll mention Ric Flair's name.
There will be a mention. There will be a
Jeff Jarrett promo, do you think?
I'm not sure. I think there will be, because obviously in the build-up to the match that the wee series are doing, Jeff Jarrett did attack Ric Flair in a parking lot. He did actually bust him open, put his head through a car window. There is a lot on that. And obviously Jeff Jarrett does do a podcast as well. And he did allude that, saying he's sick and tired of Ric Flair, which is brilliant. He's already building up. And then Ric Flair classic response. Yeah. Ric Flair's response to that was, let me just hear what Jeff Jarrett said, because the guy's a nobody. I respect his work, but he's nobody compared to Ric Flair. So Ric Flair's already buried Jeff Jarrett already. And he said he's 78 years old and he's coming back for one match. It's going to be funny. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch it.
Really?
But yeah, back to obviously this one.
Yeah, with Jeff Jarrett as the referee. I mean, Billy's making a good point there about Montez Ford going alone. I mean, we heard Angelo Dawkins in an interview recently basically feeling like, you know, the prawn cocktail sandwich at the buffet. You know, no one's touching it. And, you know, everyone's like, oh, Montez is so good. Oh, Montez Ford's so good, so amazing. And it seems like there's a bit of shoot anger about it. But I would much rather the Street Profits just stay together for now. Like, you need your staple tag teams. You know? Like, we can't... Because if the Street Profits break up, you have the Usos, you've got the Viking Raiders, and they've done nothing. You've got
the Viking Day. We'll call them the Viking Day now, because they're not really new anymore. We'll call them Viking Day.
Yeah, but like you'll have those, and that'll be it for your three long-standing tag team. Because I can't think. I mean, Alpha Academy. Are we getting on for them being long-standing? You know.
We don't really have. Not really, because the current iteration of the Alpha Academy, I call it the Shush Academy anyway, because that's all you really see.
Yeah, but Chad Gable is over as anything as a heel, and Otis is also there.
Yeah, I don't see them progressing far enough. And it doesn't help that Boogs is injured, because I think Boogs and Nakamura was actually going somewhere. They actually have got very good chemistry.
Every time they could have it, and then you've got the Brawl lad. What do they call themselves now? It's Sheamus, Rich Holland.
Oh, right. Yeah. That trio.
Perky Blinders or whatever they are. But yeah, as far as this tag match goes, I'm going to say the Usos win. But I'd like to see the Street Profits win. I'd like to see Angelo Dawkins get a bit of a moment where it's like, yeah, no, it is Angelo Dawkins. It like to see Montez Ford actually be attacked before the bell. So Angelo Dawkins has to go it alone. Because then he could really, it would be like his proving ground, his sort of, no, I'm here too. I'm good as well.
He has done well in singles matches lately. Yeah, he has done really well.
Into him, we would have like an Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch style moment, but just with Angelo Dawkins. Where the crowd start by not really caring, like, oh, where's Montez? Angelo Dawkins shows what he can really do.
I agree.
Montez Ford's receiving medical treatment. Angelo Dawkins could carry the first 10, 15 minutes of the match, and then Montez could come down, hot tag, bang, there you go. Street Profits.
Similar to WrestleMania 33, Bryan and McMahon versus Owens and Zayn. Same way. Brian starts the match, gets taken out really early. McMahon's got to cope, but then Brian comes back and wrestles for like 10, 15 minutes, and he's absolutely brilliant, which is expected. Yeah, I agree. I agree with this.
Both guys over.
Definitely. I agree. And it's one I would like to see because I like Dawkins. I do like Montez Ford. I think Montez Ford is absolutely fantastic. He's brilliant in the ring. He's Frog Splash. I'm going to get slaughtered for this, right? But I'm going to actually take a risk. I've seen 3 brilliant Frog Splashes, right, in my life. Eddie Guerrero. Actually, no, 4. Eddie Guerrero, the Superfly. No, actually, no. You've got that one as well. There's 5. I was making sure I had one. Yeah, so you got Eddie Guerrero's Frog Splash, Rob Van Dam's 5-star Frog Splash, the Money Shot by Val Venus, the Superfly by Jimmy Snuka, and Montez Ford. Montez Ford's Sky High Frog Splash, for me, is the second best Frog Splash I've actually seen, with Eddie Guerrero's being number 1. I'm going to get killed for that, but I actually have that as the second best for Impact and
something else, right? I'm about to get killed for something else. Montez Ford's fantastic. You know, you look at the movements, he knows how to sell, he knows this, he knows that. You know when he shakes the ropes like the Ultimate Warrior and makes
so much energy.
There's one man that I can compare him to, and if I've mentioned him before on the show.
Bold. I've always said Guerrero because Guerrero was like, he had flair to it.
RVD has always hit the best one, but that is just nostalgia.
His Frog Splash.
Yeah. But as far as this goes, Montez Ford reminds me of one man, and that one man, and it will sound like a compliment. Please don't take it as a compliment. Montez Ford reminds me of Kenny Omega.
Good technical ability, good in-ring work, fairly decent on the mic.
The star movements, the Ultimate Warrior head shaking, the overselling at times. You know, there's some bad habits there with Montez Ford. It's a guy who wants to be mainstream, wants to be that main event guy.
And
at the same time, it seems like he would only be a world champion on the indies.
Yeah, he tries too hard.
He wouldn't go for it. No,
he'd be a good mid-card champion, though. I would believe that.
He absolutely would be a good mid-card champion. The same way that if Kenny Omega came into WWE, I'd give him the Intercontinental title. I would never make him a world champion. Because he's not...
I'd make him WWE champion just to lose to AJ Styles.
No.
I like Omega as the world champion, but he was overdone as the AEW world champion. That title that should never have been 380 day reign. That should have been at least 250.
Yeah,
it was overdone.
If Ford has his solo run, I think we need to tailor our expectations a bit and realize that this is a guy who would be bucking the trend if he became world champion. And I mean that in the race way.
Biggie.
I mean it in the build way as well. I think has there been 4 WWE champions of color? Maybe 5.
Kofi Kingston, Biggie,
Bobby Lashley,
The Rock and Bobby Lashley. Yeah.
Rock.
Well, technically you've got. Yeah, he just sucks. But yeah,
well,
5.
There's been a handful.
But you could actually include WCW for Farouk. So overall, over 2 great companies. Obviously, one's now gone, but over 2 great companies, only 6 of color being the world champion for the 2 biggest promotions. I wouldn't mind another wrestler of color being world champion, but it really does reflect. This isn't going to sound a bit critical, but does Roman Reigns count as that? Because I know he doesn't have full on, but like he's more tanned.
Possibly. I mean, I remember that graphic that they posted after Bobby Lashley won it, or no, after Big E won it, and it was all the ones that had won it that they were counting. And I don't remember Roman Reigns being on it.
If he isn't on it, then I don't think you can include The Rock. Because they are slightly the same, you know what I mean? They are slightly the same.
Yeah, but they're the same sort of descent, same sort of ethnicity, and that sort of thing. But yeah, so just remember, Montez Ford would be bucking the trend if he became WWE champion. I would love to see that. I would love to see them complete that arc, and all of the New Day have been WWE champion.
I mean, they gave it to the Shield, so
brilliant. And I think Xavier Woods fantastic. And I think, especially when you see what old John Moxley's up to now, I think the New Day, in terms of like their wrestling ability, are better than the Shield. Because in terms of their wrestling ability, the Shield only really have Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns can when he can be bothered, but he can't be bothered. We've had that chat. Whereas the New Day, they can all go, and they're all very good. But yeah, back to this match, I'm going to say that the Usos win.
Fair. Well, I'm going to go. I want to see a change. I want to see the Street Profits win. But funny thing is, I kind of agree with you. I do agree. I do think it's going to. I do think their 375-day reign will continue. Not for the good of the tag team, because it's just going to ruin things. But then again, though, it makes you wonder, because last night, obviously it was accidental, but it still happened. It was part of how the show was going. Jey Uso did super kick Jeff Jarrett last night, so it does make me wonder what is going to happen in the main event. I think you may see Jarrett do something, maybe the guitar shot. I don't know. That would be a great way to have a title change. Jarrett's like, stuff you, guitar shot onto Jey Uso, and that's it. He just gives the count. But I'm not sure. I want to see a title change. So I'm going to go Street Profits, but I'm not disagreeing with you. I do think they may keep the titles on the Usos, because as much as I don't like them, they are doing really good stuff. It's just really boring.
Yeah, really boring. It's the same as the Roman Reigns thing. It's just way past old. You have to keep being interesting if you're going to be champ that long. And Roman Reigns hasn't done it, and the Usos most certainly haven't done it. They've not changed in the ring since the first time they won the belts. In terms of actually changing what they do in the ring, it was still loads of super kicks. They still hit a frog splash. They've not changed anything. So
yeah, they're just young. They're just the Young Bucks. Just Young Bucks version too.
Yeah, Samoan Young Bucks.
Yeah, like I want to see change. Like this is why FTR is and the Briscoe brothers are the best tag teams in wrestling, because they change everything. Like they change their style, and that's the difference. They're still hardcore, like in terms of like not hardcore for chairs and all that stuff in Extreme Wrestling. They're hardcore because they're hardcore 80s wrestling tag team fans.
Yeah, they're like die hard, follow the rules, do it the traditional way.
They would be like, this is going to sound crazy because they're not in the same organization, they don't wrestle, but you could literally have Tully Blanchard as the manager, because Arn Anderson ain't going to be involved anymore. You could have Tully Blanchard as the manager, like in the James Dillon way. You could have the Briscoe brothers, and you could have FTR as a new Four Horsemen, because it actually has the same. They wrestle in the same manner. You've still got like the aggressive, a little bit high flying in there from the Briscoes, but it's the technical wrestling side of all four that makes sense. That's why they are the best four, like best four wrestlers in a tag team sense, but they're the best two tag teams. New Day vs Bloodline, Biggie needs to be back from injury. It's going to be a long time coming for that one. WWE seriously needs to focus on tag teams again and put them on more main events. I agree. You've got somebody who knows tag team wrestling in the fold, at least they're running things. It's just, have they got investment? Have they got time? We'll see.
Have they got the teams? Because this is the thing. If you break up the Street Profits, you now don't have a team. No,
exactly.
You go back to the Usos and New Day, and yes, they can have good matches till the day they all die. Absolutely. Yeah. But you go back to that you've got nothing else. Randy Orton's out injured, so you don't even get RK Bro back. American Alpha aren't going to get a great match out of them. I mean, I'm sure there'll be good matches, absolutely.
Unless Otis can start wrestling.
Chad Gable's a wrestling freak, modern day Kurt Angle. But he needs a better partner than that if we're going to actually invest in the tag team. As far as it goes, we know that we're waiting on the day that Otis just turns around and sparks him. I think we're all just waiting for that.
I think what Gable needs is he won't come back heel. He'll come back as a babyface because he actually works, although he does really well as a heel or a face. Unless you bring back DIY, rumors of Gargano returning. Gable and Gargano would be a perfect tag team.
I could go one better. He's probably a bit old now, though.
Mm-hmm.
Gable and Shelton Benjamin.
That'd be a great tag team. That's the real American Alpha right there, not the Jason Jordan.
And the thing is, in my head, they've done it.
But I think they might have teamed once, but not as a full-on tag team. Like it's like long run.
They did, but it was really great.
I'd like it because Shelton Benjamin can still go. He'd be a brilliant tag champion.
Yeah. So you talk about criminally underrated.
I'd love to see for one more time Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin as the world's greatest tag team. Just one more time. Because that was one of my favorite tag teams in the 2000s. Yeah, you're spot on, Abel, and Eilidh is spot on.
That they did team up, but
absolutely. And I'm keeping.
Gonna look that up obviously, you go to the next.
No, the next one's you, because remember I claimed main event. You've got this one as well, because I've claimed the main event for myself.
About the Rollins speculation then, or just continue down the list?
Oh, Rollins speculation's coming when I take the main event. So you've got the next one.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
you've got.
Match. Okay. Well, I've just said this could be match of the night, but it's got a lot to live up to because this is currently my match of the year when these two had a match. Bianca Belair is up against Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. This match at WrestleMania, if the match against Sasha Banks didn't make Bianca Belair, the match against Becky Lynch did. It was fantastic. It was near flawless. Both women absolutely at the top of their game. Becky Lynch looks less weird now. I imagine tonight she's going to come out with like red all over her face again. And, people look at me like, I'm not sure you can comment on that. And fair enough, you can hold that opinion. But as far as Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, these two having matches, fantastic. It's a feud that, I think it's the third time we're seeing it. Second time we're seeing it on pay-per-view as a singles match. Obviously, they had the triple threat with Asuka inserted as well. And that was a fantastic match. But I think if this is better than the WrestleMania match these two had, then it is the match of the year and it won't be topped for me because the WrestleMania one currently is. And I see what Billy's saying. I get it. When Becky Lynch was the man, when I was doing a blog post about wrestling, just like, as a fun little thing to do on the side, I had a thing where I would flip the coin and talk about the negatives of something people found really positive. And at that point, it was the man. It was Becky Lynch. And what I said about Becky Lynch was, Becky Lynch is the Stephanie McMahon, but we want to see her. And who we know for emasculating all the wrestlers. Well, that's exactly what Becky Lynch was doing as a face. Going out there and pretending she didn't care about John Cena when they had a mixed tag match. You're like, okay, this is odd. Why are you burying John Cena? Why are you trying to bury John Cena? But as a heel, Becky Lynch is fantastic. I think it's been tougher for her to be a heel. So she's had to be more corny. Because remember, when the Big Time Bex thing happened at first, people were still cheering Becky Lynch because she's Becky Lynch and she's over. I mean, she's over with a bull. She's not particularly over with Billy.
All I'm going to say is, if you want to talk about overrated, all I'm going to say is Becky Lynch on the mic is the best in the women's division. Charlotte Flair is probably the best technical, but they both suck. Bayley is clear of them both. End of story.
I agree with Charlotte.
End of story.
I'm not gonna.
She has been for a very long time. She sucks up to everybody.
I'm not going to say that Becky Lynch sucks. I think she's really with the match against Bianca Belair, because I myself was like, I mean, what do they do here? You know, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, and I think that's why I hold the match in such high regard, because I did not expect it, and it was amazing. It's the best match I've seen this year, and if tonight's one goes beyond that, then it's going to rubber stamp it, and it's going to rubber stamp Bianca Belair as the best female wrestler in the world, and one of the best in the world, taking the caveat away. Oh dear God, she's not. She puts on this deep fake voice and loses her way.
All I'm going to say is, if you like Charlotte Flair, your head's gone.
So what do you see happening? I've realised I haven't predicted a winner. I've just been fawning over the two and how brilliant they are. But I think Bianca Belair takes the win.
Yeah, so do I. Yes, so do I. I see this is the rubber match. This is the, like, in terms of the big pay-per-views, this is like, we've already seen Extreme Rules like over and over. We've seen main events. This is the one. Like, I only care for the three main ones: SummerSlam, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. She loses in 21 seconds. Brilliant booking decision, to be fair, because at the time Belair wasn't real. Even though she was over, she wasn't completely over at the time. She had to go back.
It was about the chase, you know.
Yeah,
but she had the belt already, and the fans were like, "Yay, you have the belt!" But when it's taken away, and the fans got like shoot angry at it, like, "How dare you bury Bianca?" It just made the fans want to. But it's like when the same thing happened with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was like lost matches over and over again, was seemingly being ignored by management, and be it by good luck, or so be it WWE actually listening to the fans, or WWE just going, "Look, fine, Becky," you know. It was the exact same thing with Bianca. It was like, right, fine, we'll give her it back. Because I think if the fans didn't react with such outrage to Bianca Belair, we don't get the year that she's had. You know, Becky Lynch with Carmella and Naomi and Sasha Banks and the returning Charlotte and Rhea, which would be a good match, but still, Belair wins in 26 seconds.
I'd have that. That because it actually ends the feud the way it started.
Does it? But does it end the feud though? Because then Becky can just say, "I'm not ready," and then you've got another match.
No, that's it. I think after this, really, Bianca loses her next title match. Bianca will beat Lynch, and then Belair will drop the title to either Bayley or unfortunately Charlotte Flair, and we'll all be sick and want to hang ourselves.
Not Rhea,
but like Rhea will not be Rhea will not be champion. Not good enough. Like, not good enough to be a champion. Ooh, like she's good. She's good, but I'm sorry, but she's not championship material.
I mean, you know, to be fair, she had the belt and people didn't seem to care, but it seems to happen with faces. Maybe as a heel, she'd be a bit more of a champion. Yeah, so if you want to...
You need drop.
If you want to swap us round, Reece, I'm going to hand the mantle over to you. You've clearly got something up your sleeve. We're now going to talk about Roman Reigns with his special counsel, Paul Heyman, and probably the Usos, versus Brock Lesnar. Winner take
versus Seth Rollins.
End of the feud. Oh, okay, right.
I told you, this main event is going to change. I honestly believe it's going to be a triple threat.
Right. Just from speculation, I know.
My Wi-Fi didn't like it. That says it all. My Wi-Fi didn't like the fact that I said triple threat.
For the title, by the way. Abu, based on what Alexa Bliss did on Raw, great shout for the title. Let's have heel bitchy Bliss back. I want the goddess.
So do I.
And then Bianca Belair can work her way up again. We'll get that rematch. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. So now the floor is yours. Hopefully the Wi-Fi will like it better this time.
Let's hope. And
versus Brock Lesnar.
And this one is also for you, Billy. Bliss is clear of Flair. But on the back of this one, I do think there's going to be a few changes to the main event at SummerSlam. There's still talks about what's going to happen with Brock Lesnar. Is he going to show up for the main event? Is he going to appear? Because obviously Vince is no longer there, which we discussed on last week's show. Obviously Brock did walk. He then returned at the very last minute. Obviously there's other factors about Theory. Is he going to get involved? Cash in? He says he's going to do it. The only other person who says they've actually going to cash in a guaranteed time they were going to do it there's 2 times. Cena on the Raw 1000 and Randy Orton said he was going to cash in at SummerSlam 2013. No matter who was champion, he was going to cash in versus Bryan or Cena, which he did, obviously. Theory is consistently said at the end of SummerSlam he will cash in his Money in the Bank. I do agree. I do think that's the booking on that sense, that you are going to see the Money in the Bank fail. But in terms of this match, I do think it's going to change. I do think you are going to get a last man standing, but then you're going to get Rollins added to the mix. Because right now, I do not see Rollins getting a mystery opponent unless they do something at the last minute, which really would, I think it upsets the dynamic of the show.
That last minute guy. Here comes the man that you miss him, right? Obviously, we saw it on Twitter. Seth Rollins bemoaning the fact that he wouldn't have a match at SummerSlam.
And he's in Nashville.
And obviously they did well to write Riddle off. So if Riddle does have to undergo surgery or recovery time or anything like that,
we'll see him at Clash of the Castle.
Write him off. Seth will be nice and over as a heel again because he's injured Riddle before the match. That's fantastic. But I think Seth Rollins does have an opponent tonight. And I think it could be several guys. It could be a guy who's just on the roster. They could have someone like, I don't know, you could get AJ Styles to do it. That would be a good match. But the guy that I'm actually backing to be that mystery opponent was on Impact.
Johnny Gargano.
Through the week. Johnny Gargano. Theory's daddy is coming home. I think Johnny Gargano is coming back to face Seth Rollins. I can't see why Triple H would currently look at what he's got and not Johnny Gargano back. I can't see why Johnny Gargano wouldn't want to come back now that it's Triple H. I can understand fully Johnny Gargano leaving WWE when Vince took over management of NXT. It's like, oh, right, well, I am small and Vince isn't going to like me much. So I'm going to leave.
True.
I'm just not going to sign a contract. And fair play to Tommaso Ciampa. I think there's an element of Tommaso Ciampa where he feels like he owes WWE that for everything they've done for him. And it's a shame. And obviously he doesn't owe the world anything. You know, we love Tommaso Ciampa. We love Johnny Gargano. I think Johnny Gargano's coming back. I think that whispers only go so far until they're now a shout. And the amount of speculation I've heard about Johnny Gargano coming back is similar to the speculation when the Hardys returned at WrestleMania. I've heard enough of it now. I was one of those people who didn't believe the Hardys were coming back, and they did.
And then, I think
going to be one of these people again. So I do think Johnny Gargano's on his way back. And as Abu says, it would be a fantastic match.
It would be. And I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree. They're both amazing technical wrestlers, but I'm going to say this now. I do not want this match at SummerSlam.
No.
There's two things I want to happen at SummerSlam, right? I want the failed Money in the Bank cash in, but I want the dynamic of the last man standing to change. Because this is the perfect opportunity for that WWE title to get wrestled away from Reigns. I don't care about the Universal title. That should be the World Heavyweight title. That piece of crap needs to get replaced. The WWE title needs to go back to Raw. Seth Rollins should demand entry into the match and split the titles. One way, shape, or form. You can split the titles.
The titles is what you have to do. You're going to have Roman Reigns as this champion. You need to at least give us one world champion. And as my brother, who obviously covers that irrelevant team in Manchester, as well as the Premier League, says, as he says, you need at least one. You need to give us at least one world title back. Both of them can't be on Roman Reigns. We can't have this showbiz for all the world championships. We need to have a wrestler doing the wrestling for the world title because it's still a wrestling promotion. So you need to get that belt onto a Seth Rollins or an AJ Styles or, a Finn Balor.
Yeah.
That sort of person who can have the matches and won't just strong arm people. Eilidh just went to the bad books with that.
You're not wrong.
The
Rollins could. Seth Rollins. Yeah, she did. You did. The one thing is you're right about world champion. Is Seth Rollins can wrestle. Roman Reigns. We'll leave that for another day.
I think we've covered on enough shows in the past, Reece, that we don't think Roman Reigns can wrestle. We think he can do certain moves, certain holds, and do good, mean faces, but he's not. He can't sell. He can't sell anything. He just lies dead. I could do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
He goes from 0 to 100, so he'll be knocked down by something, and then when he gets up, he's just better. It's one of my pet peeves. Sammy Guevara is the absolute worst for it. Gets hit by something that should have killed him 5 seconds later. Hello, I'm Sammy Guevara. Awful.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins' Shield entrance. Loved when he did that at
the Royal Rumble. Yeah, it was perfect. On the back of it, though, I really do want... Because, SummerSlam, he's been champion for, 700 plus days. It's going to be something like that.
Yeah.
When it gets to the main event, Reigns is going to be so cocky going into the match against Lesnar where he knows he can beat him. He should honestly, and it'd be the best booking decision where he goes, I demand more. I demand a challenge. And he throws it open.
I'd love for...
It comes, I'm in. Rollins could eat, and that's WrestleMania 31. Resolved.
I'd love for it to be Roman Reigns. So remember the ambulance match that I think we've had a laugh about on the show before? Drew McIntyre was against Randy Orton. But Randy Orton had been beating up random veterans. So it was Big Show, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. And then they all appeared in the ambulance match. I want that for Roman Reigns.
Everyone just takes out Reigns.
I want Braun to somehow do something. I want The Fiend to appear just once. I want Kevin Owens to kick the crap out of him. I want Edge to kick the crap out of him.
Imagine Braun Strowman.
I want John Cena to kick the crap out of him. I want Finn Balor to kick the crap out of him. I want Seth Rollins to kick the crap out of him. I would love for everyone, because Roman needs the ultimate comeuppance. Getting beat by Brock Lesnar, okay, that's fine. I want to see this man suffer.
There's one other person.
It's nothing against the real man. Obviously he's had his own personal battle, and that's admirable, no matter how hated you are on TV. But as far as the Roman Reigns character goes, I want him beaten to a stain, because he deserves it. He's been running the show, running around. Xavier Woods, that's one I missed. Want Xavier Woods to get licks in on him.
Maybe we missed three. We've actually missed 2 more than that.
Owning the yard. It's my show. It's my yard. This, that. I want everyone to kick the crap out of Roman Reigns. And then it goes away for 6 months to a year. Because
there's something else. There's something else as well that could happen for SummerSlam. SummerSlam, we all know. SummerSlam gets a lot of good returns.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see just for one night. I would love to see a Braun Strowman power slam on Reigns.
But he's controlling his narrative, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
we'll see that.
But then also, all you hear in the background at SummerSlam to start the match that should happen at WrestleMania in Miami, all you hear is The Rock's theme song.
Oh, if The Rock turns tonight, babies are going in the air, as Jim Cornette would say. The babies will go in the air. if The Rock returns tonight,
it would honestly kill me. It would kill me if I heard that theme song.
If The Rock returns tonight, it is the show of the year. Like, I can't see how you top The Rock coming back at all.
Undertaker chokeslam.
In terms of the actual prediction, then, are you going to be bold enough to predict Seth Rollins to win? In a match he's not actually in.
I'm going for the madness. I'm going Rollins wins the world title.
So that's your actual prediction. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, can't say you haven't put it all on the line there. As I said previously, same with the Usos. Set yourself up for disappointment. Be surprised when it's not that. I'm going to say that Roman Reigns retains. I think at this point, they're just because WrestleMania, they're always like, oh, well, WrestleMania is only a year away, so imagine how much bigger it'll be if he loses then. And again, as we say, they're building for The Rock. Does that have to be a title match? Absolutely not. Has that stopped WWE in the past? Absolutely not. So I think Roman Reigns retains tonight. It could be the last time we see Brock Lesnar in a WWE ring. Fingers crossed so tightly.
It was only a stopgap because Randy Orton got injured. It was supposed to be Orton versus Reigns at SummerSlam.
Yeah. But then if you think about it that way, Orton's going to beat Roman. I don't think.
You never know. He's got a record to catch. Anyway, we have went through the match predictions. We've went a little bit over because I've had internet connections, so I am going to run this a little bit longer just so we can go through the SummerSlam quiz. So I'm going to put Eilidh back on her side. And I am full screen. Come on. Come on, you piece of crap. I'm putting you back on this side. If it lets me. Come on. There we go. Bloody hell. There we go. The quiz over you. I am in full screen. Guys, Eilidh's going to run the live chat. She'll be looking at the comments. If you want to get involved, by all means.
Billy, I'm not sure if you've seen this before, right? But he says, now you're hating on Brock. What's going on today? I've always hated Brock Lesnar. It's been my
Very
thing.
true. Just go back to our Elimination Chamber conversation.
Yeah. Go and, if you want to hear me really hate Lesnar, after this, go and listen to what I thought of the Elimination Chamber for the WWE Championship.
Correct.
That will just tell you everything you need to know about how much I hate Brock Lesnar. Anyway, I have some questions here for you, Reece.
I am in full screen.
Biggest party of the summer. So there may be a little theme to the answers, or there may not.
Hopefully I don't have Wi-Fi issues.
So we will find out. Question 1. What was the name of the dancer and valet who entered with Fandango?
Summer Rae.
How confident are you?
Still no one I can remember.
It's the only one you can remember. Waiting on anyone putting their answer in. No answers have come in chat, so hopefully you're right, chat. Hopefully you've said what Reece has said, because Summer Rae is the answer. I'm sure you can see what I've done there. SummerSlam, Summer Rae, I
kind of expected that when you said Ellen.
Abelazad has commented Tyrannosaurus.
That's a good point, actually. That's a good point. She did have the roar of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, the absolute midget arms, but she did have a good roar.
Oh, right, okay. I thought she had like a gimmick on the Indies where she was like Luchasaurus's manager. Okay. Question number 2. You are 1 for 1. The team of Stevie Ray and Booker T were otherwise known as what?
Harlem Heat.
And you seem confident?
Oh, it's my favourite WCW tag team.
And you'd be right. Harlem Heat is correct. Yes.
Don't hate the player.
Sorry the chat there, but Reece is clearly getting these answers very quickly. So we will find out if you're... So you're 2 for 2 on this SummerSlam quiz. Question number 3 then. MVP lost to Kane at Armageddon 2006.
Inferno match.
In an Inferno match.
Mm-hmm.
Just calling out there. My question to you is... Was this the first ever Inferno match?
No. It was the first Inferno match in 7 years, because the last Inferno match was on Raw in 1999, but the first one was at Unforgiven 1998. So there was 2 Inferno matches before this, both Undertaker versus Kane, with Undertaker getting the win.
You're a proper nerd. You've absolutely nailed that. Yeah. So my question was, true or false, was MVP losing to Kane in 2006 the first ever Inferno match? The answer is no. As you can see, we're gentle start. Get your confidence up, crush it. Maybe. We'll find out.
We'll find out. I'm doing better than last week already.
Yeah, we'll find out. Again, it's because I've gone for the themes. Maybe it makes it a bit easier as well, but I mean, you know this stuff anyway. Right. Question 4. You'll only know this if you've been following very close to modern goings on. Also, Billy is right as well. The first one was Unforgiven 98. It's question 4. Kaylee Ray recently underwent a name change. What's she called now? And if you watch that back in slow motion, you can almost see the point where his heart snaps in half. Billy has a guess in the chat. I will not reveal it yet, Billy. You still there, bud, or have you frozen?
Ferox? I can't remember. I don't really care either.
Fair enough. Right. Well, you've put don't really care.
Yeah. I put Ferox because I just don't care.
Ferox. Fair.
I know it's wrong.
I mean, it would be on brand. Billy first had it, but corrected himself. He started with Amber Fire, but the answer is Alba Fire. Alba,
well,
of course,
she isn't BBC then.
Name for Scotland. So Alba Fire is her new name.
Doesn't bother me.
Your perfect record has gone. It's in the
That's
bin.
fine.
Don't worry, I have another multi-mark question as well, because we weren't.
I'm not surprised.
We weren't going to not have that fun again. So the next question, that would be question 5.
4 now.
Question 5.
Yeah, because I had first 3 right. Yeah.
So you're 3 out of 4. Question 5. On a different company.
Okay.
Which duo were known as the Age of Fall in Ring of Honor?
Age of Fall.
Age of the Fall.
Why on earth are you bringing Ring of Honor into this?
I want to see as well if the chat know this one. Abel saying that he didn't know Alba Fire. That's fine. Very few people watch NXT 2.0, so it's not expected.
Age of Fall.
Age of the Fall. They were a faction as well, but I want the original duo, the original tag team. Age of the Fall.
I'll just go Daniels and Scorpio Sky, because I honestly can't remember. It was a long time ago, that team as well.
It was a long time ago.
Exactly. That's why I don't remember them.
Billy has... So Dad has put Brody Lee Billy has put Brody Lee and Rollins as being in it.
Makes sense, actually.
Brody Lee
because they were.
Isn't one of the names I'm looking for.
I'm pretty sure.
Brody Lee is not one of the names I'm looking for. So one of the names is Seth Rollins, a.k.a. at the time, Tyler Black. The other one, Abu has got it. Jimmy Jacobs.
What was the answer?
So Jimmy Jacobs and Tyler Black were the original Age of the Fall. And you'll be wondering, well, how does that tie into the Summerslam theme and the theme of summer and hot things? Obviously, Tyler Black went on to become Seth Rollins, whose theme song yells "Burn It Down." So a bit of a tenuous link. But if that link wasn't there, you know, I would ask you a question like, what does Seth Rollins' theme song yell at the start? And that's a bit easy. So we're 3 out of 5 at the moment, as Reece's Wi-Fi is reliable as ever. So I will run through the answers he's given so far. He's currently 3 out of 5. So question 1, what was the name of the dancer / valet who entered with Fandango? As Billy says, Reece's cockiness has come down a bit. You are correct.
It kicked me out.
That's all right. I'm just running them through what you've answered so far. So you got the first answer right. Summer Rae was the dancer and valet who entered with Fandango.
Yep.
Was the tag team name for Stevie Ray and Booker T. And the first Inferno match did not take place in 2006. That was a true or false question. Reece said false, and that is correct. Then in question 4, didn't get Kaylee Ray's name changed. Don't think knew it. Certainly didn't care. Guessed Therox, but the answer was Alba Fire. Yeah. And question 5, which has just gone, the duo known as Age of the Fall before the faction grew, were Seth Rollins, aka Tyler Black, and Jimmy Jacobs.
Quality team, makes sense. Yeah. I couldn't remember how long ago.
That bit with the white coat.
Like, just because it's been so long since I've seen them, that's why I didn't bother. But I know it's been so long. What's the next one?
I give my justification for the question, but it was everything's been linking to fire. But I'd have to ask you a question about modern day Seth Rollins, and I'd rather not do that because it's very easy. So instead, I went back to Ring of Honor days.
Fair enough.
Right, so you're 3 out of 5. Question number 6. I get the feeling you're going to get this one. I get the feeling this is right in your wheelhouse. Who famously threw the WWF Women's Championship into a trash can?
Alundra Blaze. Well, to WWE it's Alundra Blaze, but when she was in WCW, what was it she changed? Medusa.
Yeah, I felt that would be in your suite. It absolutely is. You're correct. You're 4 out of 6 because the answer is Alundra Blaze. So again, the theming. Again, it's all about the theming, people. It's all about the theming.
Yeah.
4 out of 6 there. Right. So we've got one more question and then the multi-marker. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Abu, Billy, you're both absolutely right. Alundra Blaze, also known as Medusa. So, the next question, before we do our multi-marker.
Yep.
It's similar to the Finn Balor question from last quiz. In which year and in which city did Brock Lesnar win his first Universal Championship?
So which year and which city?
Yeah, I'll take arena as well, but it's probably harder.
Well, was it WrestleMania? That was. I'm trying to remember which WrestleMania it was. Because he held that title for 550 days at that point. I think that year, I think it's 2017,
because Goldberg returned, I'm pretty sure, in 2016 at Survivor Series. So I'm going with the year's 2017.
All right.
Because that would have completed the three-peat in a way, because you had Survivor Series, and you had the Royal Rumble embarrassment, but back-to-back embarrassments, and you had the then you had the WrestleMania squash. Pay-per-view. I can't remember the stadium. I think I might be right. I'm not sure. I'm going to go I think it's the Mercedes one in New Orleans.
So you're saying that where Brock Lesnar won his first Universal Championship?
Because I'm pretty sure that night. Because I'm pretty sure that night you saw. I think Taker returned. I think Taker went up against Reigns or something like that. I can't remember, but I'm going 2017.
So gonna
2017, and I'm going New Orleans.
Yeah, going to clarify something for a bull here. The first Universal Championship reign for Brock Lesnar. So I see you comment in 2002. I understand what you mean by that, but we're talking Universal Championship.
Yeah, I'm going. But for my answer, I'm going 2017, and I'm just going to say New Orleans, because I'm not sure if it's the correct stadium for the Mercedes one. I'm not sure if that's New Orleans, but I'm going 2017 New Orleans.
Right. Okay. That intrigues me, that answer. Billy has put it was Mania 33.
Which is 2017.
It was in 2017. And it was he's actually named the stadium the Camping World Stadium. So I will.
That's a Google search.
It's interesting. Some people remember this. You know. Things happening at the MetLife, things happening at the Citrus Bowl. You know, people remember that. Camping World Stadium, Mania 33. Yeah, we know you're just kidding. But Abdul Azad has got the city. Billy's got the state. So obviously knew the city as well. He knew the stadium, for Christ's sake.
Go on.
Orlando, Florida.
No one cares. Nobody cares about them. Nobody cares. Burn it down. Burn it down.
So 5 out of 8 there, Reece, because you've got the year, but you said New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
So now to end the
because New Orleans has hosted a lot of. It's because New Orleans has hosted a lot of WrestleManias lately. That's why I went New Orleans. I was like,
the one you're a year early. WrestleMania 34.
34.
One of the worst WrestleManias I've ever seen was New Orleans.
100%.
It was awful. But obviously, it hosted.
It stands in my head. Yeah. Anyway, your big
30,
yeah, 30 and 34. Miracle Street, and all that crap.
Street, yeah. So let's see if we can keep the quiz under 2 hours here, Reece, because this is your multi-mark question for the week. Now, obviously, I asked you Rey Mysterio's tag partners last week. Yeah, you got 5 of the 8, which was good. So let's see how you do this. There are 6 answers.
Okay.
What I want to know from you, one of the most famous SummerSlam matches of all time, for the wrong reason, was John Cena's team burying the Nexus.
Yeah.
I want to know from you, who was on Team Cena? Who were the other 6 members?
Bret Hart.
Cena. And I will
Bret Hart
answers.
Yeah, so Bret Hart number 1, Daniel Bryan, Chris Jericho, Edge, John Morrison, and I think the last one was R-Truth. Great Khali was supposed to be in it. He got ruled out. The Miz was supposed to be in it, but he was making his own mind up. No, and then Daniel Bryan came out with the coolest theme song in SummerSlam 2010. And then obviously Bret Hart got eliminated through disqualification. And then Edge and Chris Jericho, I'm pretty sure, turned on Cena.
All right.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm sure that was it. Yeah, Bret Hart, R-Truth, Edge, Morrison, Bryan, Jericho.
Okay, right. Well, I've got those answers written down in front of me. I've got the answers in front of me over here. Abu saying that he got confused earlier. That's all right. That's all right.
It's normal.
So, Billy,
it's understandable.
So, Billy, the question here, which we'll just have to jump into the answers, I'm afraid. So, you could mute us while I say it, but please don't. So, John Cena's team that buried the Nexus. I don't know why I'm doing that. I mean, it was a burial. John Cena's team that buried the Nexus. It was a 7-on-7 match. Obviously, John Cena's one of them. I wanted to know 6.
Yep.
So, Abu's in here with a guess. Ziggler, Eric Rowan, Big Show, Ryback.
Survivor Series 2015, my friend. 14, sorry, because WrestleMania 31 was Survivor. That was Survivor Series 2014.
The match where Sting returned.
Yeah.
I think that debuted, returned. Yeah.
That was his debut in WWE.
Yeah, I was thinking that. So the answers that I've got here, Reece, are Bret Hart. So that's right. Daniel Bryan. Chris Jericho.
Yep.
Edge.
Yep.
R-Truth. And Alberto Del Rio.
He wasn't there.
I know, I'm having you on. It's John Morrison. You got 6 out of 6.
Aye, I got 6 out of 6 on
that. You've absolutely nailed it. Yep, absolutely. I thought, some false tension. Let's just make you think, but I wasn't going to sway a mind like yours with that. See, that is the sort of score that you warm up for.
Device, mate.
That's the sort of score you warm up for Keane with, an 11 out of 14 on the Summerslam Quiz. Reece, you got to be delighted with that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Any of the ones 100%. That you didn't get that you feel you could have, or 3 pretty tough ones?
Probably the 2 that I got wrong in a row. That was it.
Abu says, confusing Survivor Series with the SummerSlam team.
Yeah. But yeah, I knew that team. Yeah. Easy.
Yeah. It's such a memorable match. I mean, it's always on the best of Survivor Series. Alba Fire, Reece, you should be ashamed. Yeah, you should be. She's representing Scotland. But yeah, 11 out of 14 for Reece on this week's quiz. Hopefully, the showdown will happen soon.
I don't care about Alba Fire.
Hopefully, the showdown between you and Keane will be soon. I was writing a quiz for this, and then I realised that some of the answers I was getting didn't really fit the theme that I was going for. So, with the theme of summer and heat and things like that, those were the questions. You got 11 of the 14 answers.
And Piper Niven.
Dewdrop. Yes, Piper Niven. I was hoping she would. Maybe she came out on Raw this week. I thought her promo was like, I'm not bloody Dewdrop. I was waiting for it. But no, Ronda Rousey.
If only. If only.
But right, so that brings an end to the quiz proceedings for the week. And with that, we have previewed SummerSlam for tonight. So, I mean, the chat, given their well dones to Reece, of course they are. I mean, Reece held up a lot better in the quiz than his Wi-Fi has. But we have previewed SummerSlam. We hope that everyone who has watched this edition of the weekly Steelchair podcast, Shotgun Saturday, we hope you've enjoyed it. We hope it's got you nice and hyped up, fired up for the show tonight. SummerSlam, I believe it starts at 1 a.m. We don't actually get that special start time anymore, unfortunately. Thanks so much for the kind words. Really do appreciate it. I'll keep I'll keep the questions coming, and we'll keep testing Reece's mettle out as far as his wrestling knowledge. And don't worry about misspelling the name. A lot of people do it. But yeah, so hopefully we're all very excited for SummerSlam tonight. Hopefully we see an end to the Tribal Chief's reign by any means necessary. Hopefully we see some fantastic wrestling, some great storylines and everything like that. Why is it Saturday? I think, I mean, I touched upon it at the start of the show. I think it's to do with WWE just wanting to put their big four shows or the big shows on Saturdays. Will it be a thing where they move all the pay-per-views? I don't know, but it could be the case that they're testing it and they might move all the pay-per-views to Saturday. I think there's been a Hell in a Cell recently that's been Saturday night, but I could be talking rubbish there. I tend to do that. But yeah, so as far as the show tonight, Saturday, 1 a.m. start time from everywhere I've seen. We don't get that special 12 a.m. And Billy said, you'll enjoy it even if Brock wins, Eilidh. Well, that might put a dampener on the show, but the alternate is Roman Reigns wins. So it's not like there's a desirable outcome either way, unless Rollins comes in or Theory cashes in. And at least then you've got the belt off of one of Lesnar or Reigns. Reece, your final thoughts? I've sort of ad-libbed an outro there for you.
Well, thanks for doing that for me. Of course, the Wi-Fi kicked me again. It's really annoying. That's the only reason why we went longer than we usually did, because the internet issues were really affecting this, which I really don't like. Great show, good laugh, good quiz, battered it. Tonight's going to be a really interesting pay-per-view. I expect a lot to happen tonight. I expect a lot of good changes. The first pay-per-view of the TV-14 run, the first pay-per-view with no Vince, and we'll see where it goes. It's been a great show. Everyone's been a blessing. It's been a good laugh. Eilidh, my co-host, thanks for tuning in to us. It's been a great laugh. I've appreciated it. This is what we would want to see in wrestling. This is what you're really going to get. A manner of speaking. It's been a great show.
Reigns wins in theory winning. He's for me how Reece feels about Charlotte. I mean, reasonable. I don't like Charlotte either. You know.
Yeah. On the back of that, agreed. But on the back of that, the weekly Steelchair goes shotgun Saturday. Line them up, shoot them. But all I'm gonna say is, it's cooking. See you later, guys.
See you.